Golden. Good morning, everybody. Thanks for having me. It's a great honor to be back here at Rafal. And my name is Valentin. I'm coming from Switzerland, working for a Swiss company. And we're partnering with Rafal on different projects. And I would like to talk you through a topic which is really much en vogue right now, which is AI. But at the same time, I will be talking about IoT, which is also a topic which is en vogue. So it's like two topics which are moving a lot. And I would like to present you some experiences we've made with that topic recently in our company. Also, how we failed doing some things, and because that's always the most interesting stuff. So the topic is, what if our infrastructure could talk, literally? So I suppose you all have ChatGPT or some kind of AI assistant in your pocket. You use it to create text, to create like outlines of some work. You can feed it with some background information and get like answers in real language. So you can feed it with complicated text, with a law text or with some technical information, and you get like answers back in real language. And we are doing the same with IoT data. So IoT data is things we're measuring, and we'd like to have answers in real language from that data. So I'm working as a solutions engineer at Akenza. We're located in Zurich, and I have a background as an electrical engineer, and so I'm always sitting between our product, which is a software cloud product, and the customer projects, checking how to integrate our cloud product with the real world, so on the interface to where the problem starts. Our company is active basically in the field of Internet of Things. So that's a buzzword which started about 10 years ago. There were huge plans. Everybody thought, in a few years that 2020 we will have like billions of things connected to the internet. That's the word you see on the left. And but it actually never happened that way. So we weren't growing so fast as we were expected, because it's hard to do it and you need a lot of know-how to connect these things. And my company Akenza is exactly sitting in the middle where that blue off was sitting. So we have a product which enables to connect the things to the internet. And there are many different kinds of things. And the internet is also just a big mess of different products. And we're trying to clean this up as much as possible and make it as easy as possible to connect these two worlds. I was taking that picture last week from the Lego box of my son. And it's how the IoT, Internet of Things landscape looks nowadays. We have hundreds of thousands of parts. Everybody of you knows how that toy market works. You could endless possibilities of combining bricks. You have trees and cars and spaceships and all of these things. And as you can see in that box, there are some cars that are still like fully assembled, and there's a lot of spare parts. To make use of these bricks, we need instruction books. They come with the Lego box. You can download them from the internet, but in IoT, we don't have instruction books. So we need to write our own instruction books to make sense of all these big mess. And yeah, that's now where the hard work starts, to make good products, sustainable products, and preferably products that are still functioning in 5 or 10 years, which are extensible and which are built to last. We can always prove with these toy bricks that we can build anything. We can build fancy stuff, we can build crazy stuff, but we also need to do like stable stuff. And I was saying in the beginning, I will be talking about two different topics. One is IoT, and you know this hype cycle, this Gartner hype cycle. It all starts very enthusiastic, then we're at the peak, and then we have our hangovers here, and then we're slowly starting to recover at this phase. And with IoT, we're around here. I would say. So we're like recovering from the first hype. We're recovering for the first misinvestments we did. And through hard work, slowly we're getting there. And then we have the other topic, AI, which is coming up. And AI is pretty much here. So it's on top of this peak, many applications popping up from the ground like mushrooms, and endless possibilities what we could do. But being a technology company, we're always looking back in this cycle. We're not looking ahead too much. We're scouting what's next, what's coming around the corner. And we know exactly that something we take from the peak there, we have to take it with some cautiousness, but it's important to be on the first wave and to jump on these things so we can actually are ready when they're possibly entering this plateau here of stability. And that's why we embarked on a journey to take AI from the full hype and integrate it into IoT, and just to see what happens. So IoT for us, we have a product which is able to connect many different types of information, different systems, different technical protocols and stuff. And though we have a lot of information in our platform already. Some of these data points are also located in Iceland, and so it's generating a lot of things. It's a little bit like the Lego box. So we have all that information here, but what now? For now, we need specialized people to look at the data. So we need data scientists, we need technicians to actually dive into this information and check, okay, what could be related? So water could be related to temperature, and how do we correlate the data? How do we make something useful out of it? And that's what we're working on. That's our product, basically. We unite all this data into one unified layer. So that's the first step, but it's not an application yet. So it's just a clean room. And then we started about 2 years ago saying, okay, let's add generative AI to it. Generative AI means it's a model, AI model, that we're training with all the information on the left. So we're training it with a time series data. So the model actually knows what happens with the temperature 2 years ago. We're training the model to interact with our cloud product. So the AI is actually like making all the requests and queries and getting the information out. We taught the AI everything. And we thought it would be great. And we have this chatbot here where we can talk to the platform. And we started to ask questions. And the result was, the result was completely useless. It was shit. There was no coherent answer. There was not a single good answer, and there was not a single useful answer. And we tried to ask in different kinds of ways. So we changed the tone. We provided more information to the model, how to get that information. We basically instructed the model how it should ask our platform to get the information. We could have done it ourselves, but we taught the model to do all this, and the result was still very bad. So we thought, okay, we need something more. We need to clean up our warehouse and to clean up our workshop to enable the AI to actually get some useful results. So, I will talk to you a little bit now about how it looks now. In the meantime, just imagine our engineers have been working on this all the time, and I will come back to what they have been doing in the meantime for it to work. So the goal was that we can analyze real-time data. What's happening right now? What happened a year ago? That we have natural language interaction. So everybody of us can ask questions. Interestingly, a technician would ask in a different tone or a different language than an executive. So we were working on this to detect these different tones so that the answers would all be on the same level. So if an executive asks, what can I do with the whole system? So the answer should be high level. And if a technician asks, did we have like a temperature peak in the last 30 days? Then the answer should be according to that question. We wanted to put an insight from every data source. So these are tens of thousands of sensors that are placed and measuring completely different things. And we started with some different kinds of questions that, okay, when we have an AI, first question could maybe be, what can I do with it? I don't want to read an instruction manual for an AI, so also you know that with ChatGPT and other agents, you ask, what are my possibilities? What can I do with you? So what's the tool I'm getting here? And so then the AI model is basically answering, okay, you have information about all these different kind of measurements. You have information about the data maybe ranging back 2 or 3 or 4 years already. And so we get an oversight what's on the plate. So far, we had to query on the platform, click with mouses and filter and pull all the information together. And there was always a chance that we were forgetting anything and maybe not looking in the right place. Then we can dive deeper. So now that we know what we can ask, so we can basically ask, okay, what's happening right now? So what's the energy consumption at a specific site? Is there a pressure fluctuation somewhere? And we can ask specifics, and we get these answers here. And since it's a language model which also combines a lot of knowledge, of human knowledge, you would also ask an AI prompt, what should I do? Or I need a recipe for tonight for dinner. It should involve something with fish, and then you get some recommendations. So we get all that broad general knowledge in that model as well. So we can ask the AI, how could I optimize that process? And you will get some answers which are linked to the additional company data or production data that we fed in. So we had some learnings here. So many things did go wrong, and the whole process is already taking about 2 years. And now we're getting to the point where our AI prompt is becoming more stable and more useful. The first learning was we were always asking as technicians, as engineers. So we were asking specifics, and we were expecting a specific result. And then we gave that prompt to one of our customers, and they asked in a completely different way, and the model was completely clueless what they meant. And so we said, okay, if a facility manager is asking questions, they phrase it in a completely different way than we are. So we needed to fix that. Add context here. And the second thing is the most important. The data quality was inadequate very often. So it was bad. So maybe there are missing values. The scaling is not right. There are time series which are not complete. The model really fell down and failed in a very big way. And then metadata is also essential. We need to get some context. So if you have a temperature measuring here in this room, we need to tell the model that temperature sensor is actually located here in the coffee room at Rafal in the second floor in the other building. And because otherwise the model would not know where that sensor is. That sensor has a name or maybe a number, but yeah, even for us, it's complicated to make sense out of that. And we created new aggregations. Aggregations mean that we're on the fly calculating more values than a sensor is just producing. For example, we're constantly producing average values, standard deviation, median values, or maximum, minimum values. so that these values are actually available already, so that the AI model can fetch these values and present them to us. So we don't want that model to calculate all these values on the fly for us. That's too intensive, too expensive, because it's basically computing power that we're needing here, so it has to be as easy as possible. Okay, so with all these learnings, we're now doing two different things, two different activities. We're building agentic AI systems for specific application. So we found out that there's no one model that fits all the applications. So we need to specialize it. Now we're doing an agentic AI system for smart buildings, for smart cleaning and in buildings, and there will be also a model for industrial applications. And then we built this data fusion layer. That's a little bit of a technical buzzword, but it's basically a thing which gives all these different things that are connected to the internet context. So how they relate to each other, how they're structured in some hierarchical system. And button is not working. Can I advance manually? Yeah, great. Okay, so I'm looking a little bit under the hood to give you some insights. So we made some graph models here where we can link these different kinds of sensors together and say what the relationship is. So this is the same kind of graph which is used in social networks to see how many people are connected to each other, which are used in for transportation system when you look up a connection, a train, a bus connection from A to B. So all these navigation systems are using the same principle here. And so we're basically adding like sensors, and this sensor is connected to a desk, and this desk is located in a meeting room, and we give these connections names and the meaning. And now the AI is able to start somewhere on this graph and travel through the hierarchy, following these paths, and finally finding the thing it's looking for. So it radically changed the way we're searching for things. Searching is like a Google prompt. We type in a keyword and say, oh, we'd like to have all temperature sensors. No. We're just starting at a location, a site location, and then traveling through that hierarchy in all directions. We can travel up and down, say we can travel up to the whole building, to the location, to the site, to the country, or we can travel horizontally and saying, okay, let's see all the temperature sensors across all the sites we own, maybe different factories. So that's what changes, and we need to advance manually here now. I can do it. Okay, so to come back to the Lego thing in the beginning, so the biggest learning for us was we need to have a clean room for the AI to work. We need to structure it very well so that we get good answers. And same as with these vacuum cleaner robots, if you have too much stuff lying around on the floor, it will get stuck somewhere, or eat too many Lego bricks and and get bad. So that's the biggest learning: clean up the whole stuff. And that's how AI enabled our company to get a better product and get better organized. And if that AI hype is maybe going away, we still have that relationships, and we still have the good, clean data structure. And that's very beneficial to have, because it's also enabling like other applications in the future, hopefully. Okay, thanks for listening to me, and thanks for having me, and have a great day.